Just want to let you know that ahead of time. Let's go hear what Tim Pool had to say. Green hearts in the chat when you can hear.
I know all you guys want to know what happened during my meeting with Erica. So here it goes. We met in Nashville because I didn't want to fly anywhere and have my plane shut down by Israel. So I told her to come here instead. She gets here, and first thing she does is she gives me some homemade cookies. And I'm like, bitch, I ain't eating those poison chocolate chip cookies. She tried to poison me. Anyway, I'm still alive after almost dying from the poisoned Israeli cookies. And we start talking. Then you're not going to believe what happened next. The waiter asks us if we want something to drink, but he's wearing the Star of David. So I'm like, I ain't about to drink no poisons lemonade from you, you Mossad agent. So anyway, I almost die again from Israeli lemonade poisoning. And Erica is like, I'll just have some water, please, which is obviously code for you better kill this right now. Am I right? So we talk and we talk. And she tells me I'm acting crazy or whatever. So I asked her to show me pictures of her of when she was younger. And she's like, why? So I'm like, oh my God, she doesn't have any. So I just discovered she's actually a man. And I'm now talking to this man who is probably an Israeli spy sent here to kill me. So I get up. I go to the bathroom, I dig a hole under the shitter like El Chapo, and I finally made it back to tell you guys the story and get paid millions by YouTube to keep you guys stupid and against Trump and Turning Point, because I'm just a piece of shit like that. Whoa. Anyway, thank you for your views, retards.
So Candace Owens has announced a new documentary series called, like, what is it called? Like The Bride of Charlie Kirk or something. The internet's blowing up. Clearly, they're not happy with Candace Owens. Obviously, I have had my disagreements, as it were. But what I would just say outright, first and foremost, is, look, people have been complaining for some time, and I've explained this quite a bit, that views are down, and in an off-cycle political year, it's very difficult to make money and maintain large viewership for your channels, especially when you're going into December, when you've got November and December with Thanksgiving and Christmas. Views drop. Now, ad rates typically go up, but we're experiencing this mass wave of AI-generated content, which results in distribution of viewership and ad rates going down for everybody. And that's why I think Candace Owens is doing this. Obviously, that was an AI gag video mocking Candace Owens having this meeting with Erica Kirk. And then, she did walk back a bit of her earlier stance. But then, of course, she's doubling down. And the reason is actually quite simple. Many people pointed out that following this, not only was there a large backlash from her audience that just wants to believe that Erica Kirk is some kind of demon from Israel or that Israel is doing something crazy. There are people that have formed, I would say, content that has formed around this idea because it has a large share of the market. That is, to put it quite simply, I'll explain to you who I am and what I do. I see things online that I find interesting, and then I talk about them if I think they are interesting. Sometimes the videos don't get that many views, but I thought it was interesting to talk about. Like yesterday, I did a Star Trek video. However, for people who are driven by audience, it's not so much an idea of quote-unquote audience capture, but it's about making a product for individuals who would purchase that product. And as it were, there are a lot of people in this world that do not like the Jews or Israel. So the question is, who are these people? Where are they based? Are they U.S. based? Honestly, we don't know for sure. But we do know that there are a lot of Americans and there are a lot of foreign interests that don't like Israel and Western hegemonic power. That is, in the United States, you have fractured cultures. You've got the left and the right. And so if you're doing a general news program that's kind of neutral, you're not really going to attract either the left or the right. The right wants to hear why Trump is good. The left wants to hear why Trump is bad. And if you're somewhere in the middle, your viewership will be a little bit depressed relative to the maximum market share you could get by targeting a single partisan faction. Because the truth is, moderates will maybe listen to you if you're conservative, and they'll definitely listen to you if you're moderate. But if you're conservative, they're not really interested in listening to a moderate. So where are we now? There are many YouTube channels, namely Candace Owens, that are making a killing running this stuff about Erica Kirk because there is a large market share interested in this. And Candace Owens has captured it, and her viewership is amazing, despite talking about literally the same thing nonstop for months. Man. There's one leftist I always like shouting out in this capacity, and that is Hassan Piker. Because there are many liberal commentators that just talk about Trump nonstop all day, every day. They're not talking about what's going on in the world. They're not giving you their views on policy. They're just saying, oh, gee, oh, me, oh, my, oh, Donald Trump. Well, I always give a shout out to Hassan in this capacity because he talks about everything. I think he's got bad opinions. Typically, we agree on some things. Bad attitude, maybe. You don't have to like the guy. But at least he's talking about a variety of subjects. He's actually existing in the world, and he's saying, here's what I think about this. Here's what I think about that. I think you're wrong about this. And I say, I can dig it. I don't like the guy professionally. I don't know him personally. Everyone was allowed to have an opinion. The question is it legitimate or is it market share grifting? And so what I will say is, as we read the story here on what the controversy around Candace's Erica Kirk project, I'm just going to say it. Certainly the most popular thing that I could do in terms of mass market share is agree with Candace Owens, but I don't actually care. If people don't want to watch because they want to live in a world where Erica Kirk came from outer space or she's a man or whatever it is they want to believe, then you go ahead and believe whatever you want. And there are a lot of people that want to hate Erica Kirk. They believe that there's a conspiracy around Charlie Kirk's assassination, of which I would agree there probably is. I mean, somebody killed him and it was planned, and I don't think it was just one person. So what is really going on? The problem is people become so desperate to not believe and try and find some truth that you will get grifters and shills who can't pronounce many words. Which debacle? Was that one of them? And Ben Shapiro roasted Candace Owens. So the issue I have with Candace Owens is that she will just say whatever she has to say to attract the largest market share. And thus, she is now once again targeting Erica Kirk. Let's read the story, and then I'll give you my thoughts on what this is all about. Mediaite reports evil demon. The internet explodes over new Candace Owens project targeting Erica Kirk. Candace Owens announced on Monday their show would be back on the air beginning Wednesday with a new investigative series targeting Erica Kirk, the widow of Charlie Kirk. We know this, eliciting an abundance of horrified reactions. The teaser trailer for the series shared by Owens on X begins with news coverage about Charlie Kirk's assassination, but quickly transitions to clips of its subject, as well as critical commentary about her Zionists and Israel. There's even an implication that the Turning Point USA CEO is implicated in the Romanian human trafficking scandal. The series is titled Bride of Charlie, and its promotional banner depicts Erica wearing a crown. Owens, who has promoted a wide variety of conspiracy theories about her former colleague's death, had initially said she would stop if Erica asked her to. Well, we've determined that was a lie. Over time, however, Owens began to subtly and then outright suggest the widow might have been involved in a conspiracy to betray her husband. Betray? She literally said everyone did.
Right.
In the hours since Owens began to publicize her new project, much of the internet is united in disgust at her and those who have run cover for her. Every day, there's some new line being crossed by this lunatic that makes me wonder whether certain people will finally speak up, mused Red State's Bonchi. They won't, though. Not even this will be enough, and it's probably time to start asking why they are so invested in Owens. Indeed, coming soon. What would Charlie have to say about this? And what would he think of his so-called friends who can't summon the courage to say it for him? Wondered the Babylon Bee's Seth Dillon. His colleague Joel Berry marveled at the cowardly silence of professional talkers who built their brands on courageous truth-telling. I'm going to give a shout-out in this regard to Megyn Kelly, who has continually defended Candace Owens. And I got to wonder why. You don't got to agree with Ben Shapiro's politics. You don't got to want to go to war with Iran to be like, hey, Candace Owens is lying. Anyway. Joel Berry says, this is pea soup vomit we've come to expect from Candace, but let's talk about what's fueling it. The cowardly silence of the church, the cowardly silence of professional talkers who built their brands on courageous truth-telling, cowards as far as the eye can see. Indeed, cowards. Pure, unadulterated effing evil. Who in God's name would put a woman whose husband was brutally assassinated in front of the entire world through this? Asked Meghan McCain. I am so upset by this. I am just so deeply sorry. Erica and her family have to be put through this. Agreed. We have this one from Rod Dreher. We have a serious problem on the right. Candace is a monster. The most charitable thing one can say is that she is deranged. But what can you say about those who defend her or keep their silence? I would agree. Here we have David Cole. This was a response to the tweet. He said, Candace Owens in August of 2025, quote, Jews commit ritual murder of Christians during Passover. The right. Oh, that Candace, what are you going to do? She's a force of nature. In February, here's my new documentary about how Erica Kirk is a soul-stealing assassin succubus who killed her husband. The right. Wait, Candace is evil. If only we'd seen this coming. Sadly, she gave us no clues up until this very moment. Well, I'd like to give a good shout out to our friends over at the Daily Wire. Had they known, perhaps, look what they've created. But wait, there's more. Evil demon. Shame on all of those who remain silent and incentivize this, especially those who owed their careers and success to Charlie, but won't even say a word to defend his family, friends, and coworkers. Steve D saying what Candace is doing is the most wicked and satanic thing that has ever come from the online right. She's not right-wing. And the left loves to say she is, despite the fact that you can see the audience of socialists who hate Israel who are watching Candace Owens. And don't get me wrong, Candace Owens is a mixture. She has some right-wing viewers. But when you go on YouTube, as I do, and I watch some of these channels, who do you see who has the big overlap with Candace Owens? Jimmy Dore, who is a lefty, he is, and the Young Turks, who are leftists. It is incorrect to say Candace Owens is right-wing. And that is only because she worked for the Daily Wire and she said what she needed to say to get attention. She wasn't going to get hired on MS Now, or CNN. And so she found opportunity with the right to be a grifter.
I know you like that episode. This is actually a clip from a larger live stream. The link is down in the description, so you can go check it out.